Happy Wednesday! How are all the empathic sensitive souls doing so far this week? On Monday, we drew that education card. Are we teachable? That's a hard one, isn't it? Sometimes we think we know everything, and I have that problem at work is I very rarely know exactly the steps, to take that I need to do. But once in a while, I know. And it never fails when I think I know and I go to prove my point. It never works that way. So I have learned over the course of many years to never assume that I know everything, because there is always something. I feel like I have dust fuzzies. Always something that I can learn. Whether it is in the job, whether it's with people, whether it is, I swear, a piece of hair is attacking. I'm teachable, right? I have to remain teachable. Now, as an adult, I can listen to what you say if it's regarding like non-work stuff. And I can formulate my own opinion of whether, yes, that is true. Yes, that will work. Yeah, I'm going to take that on and I'm going to do that practice too. Or that doesn't resonate with me, and you can believe what you want to believe, like, but I'm going to believe this. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to cut you off from my existence just because you have a differing opinion of mine. And that's okay. We're adults. We all can play in the sandbox together. But trying to be teachable, trying to keep progressing your education, because our time here on earth is short. My grandpa lived to 96. That's pretty long. And he survived World War One. He survived the Great Depression. That's when my dad was born. So to remain teachable, to remain flexible, to listen and gather information and make your own conclusions is priceless in this world. We're here to learn. Now, last night I was taking a shower and I got slammed with emotion and I just started crying. And I'm like, where is this coming from? It's something I need to heal. So I worked on healing it while in the shower, letting the water wash over me, and try to release the emotion that was surrounding whatever popped up. And just to sit with it, let me feel, don't squash the feeling, but let me feel the feeling. I couldn't even identify what the feeling was. I was just distraught. But I don't know why. I don't know what triggered that reaction. But it was overwhelming grief and sadness. And I sat with it, or stood with it because I was in the shower, and just let it roll through and accept that, oh, that's part of my feelings. It's okay to feel this, but I don't have to live in that feeling. I don't have to hold on to that like a child holds on to their favorite teddy bear or their favorite blanket and never let it go. I can process it. I can let it wash through. I can process it more until I'm okay with it. Now, will it crop up again? Oh, I'm sure, because feelings are sneaky that way. But it's an education, because I have learned I don't have to hold on to those emotions. That is not what makes me me, especially the ones that are so devastating to me. I can take it in, I can let it go. Now, can I do it in an instant? No. Sometimes it takes me a day, sometimes it takes me a whole weekend. But I'm not there for months and months and months at a time like I used to be. I used to reminisce and I would go down a rabbit hole and it would be devastating and I would be so upset and just down that spiral pit of despair for months. And now I can come out within an hour. Or the weekend was pretty quiet for me. and I had a lot of thinking that I was processing. But Monday rolled around, I was in a much chipper mood. I was really melancholy, and I was very tired over the weekend. So I recouped my energy Monday back at work, you know how that goes. But it is the education, the learning of how to process my emotions and not have to sit with them and stay with them. I can let them go and I can move forward and keep moving on with my life. So life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. Wisdom comes from participating, not just reading about it or viewing it from afar. Being a participant, not a spectator. Now, as an introvert, my favorite thing to do is spectating, but I enjoy watching other people. Will I partake? If I have the energy and I feel good, I will partake in the shenanigans, but I don't have to. I don't need to. I get enjoyment out of watching other people's enjoyment. But that's an introvert. That's what we like to do. I am most happy with a few select friends, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a quiet environment. Sometimes it can be pretty loud and having fun, and but there's not a press of people around me. It's just the select few group of friends, and we have a fabulous time. But it's all in the learning. It's learning about yourself. It's learning what you can tolerate and can't tolerate, and that's part of your education, because we're only here a short time. And we have to continue to learn and grow. And as humans, we go through all the emotions, whether you want to or not sometimes. That's the way it is. We are an emotional being. Sometimes life unexpectedly sends you to an unfamiliar school, and you must learn by experience. And that's a hard knock sometimes, right? Where suddenly you're thrust into the spotlight or into a situation you weren't expecting, and you have to rely on all the knowledge you have had before you and that you have seen around you to know how to respond and how to act. But that's okay. Change your preconceived notions. Be a student. Be willing to state the most powerful mantra of all: I don't know yet. And I was thinking back, I like watching reels on Facebook, and I like watching the Gen X because it's absolutely hilarious. I don't know yet. And the point I was, my brain got sidetracked. Isn't that, but we didn't have Google. And they were talking about growing up, we weren't connected to a phone. We weren't connected to the computer. We went out, we played, we made friends, we got together with groups and figured out a game to play. We hung out with people. We didn't hang out on a computer. We didn't hang out playing a video game unless you went to the arcade. We had to learn to communicate. We had to learn all of this on our own because our parents were busy. Everybody jokes about we didn't come in until the street lights came on. Well, I grew up on a farm. We didn't come in the house till the dusk to dawn light came on. And even then we were back outside playing tag in the dark, or ghost in the graveyard, which I always sat on goal because I was just a little shaver because I was one of the younger ones in the family. But to go through the creation of bringing computers into the workplace, bringing the internet, and being able to Google at a moment's notice without having to carry a stack of encyclopedias around. And now it is amazing the amount of information we have at our fingertips. Not knowing something when I was growing up made me feel like I wasn't very smart. Especially when I had older siblings who like to rub your nose in it that they know more than you do. I know more than you do, ha ha. But it made me feel less than. But now, if I don't know how to do something, I look it up on the web. It is amazing. And I am always learning. We are always teachable. There is always moments in our life where if I don't know how to julienne leaves, I can look it up online and they show me how to do it. Now I have to be responsible for putting it into practice and trying it. And is it going to be perfect the first time? Never. Like when you bake cookies, the first batch is always underbaked, the middle batch is perfect, and the last batch you end up overcooking or sometimes burning because you get sidetracked. 1 out of 3 for me is not bad, but I have to practice. I set alarms on my phone now because I have learned that I get sidetracked and, oh, I need that phone alarm to go off to ding because I don't necessarily hear the dinger on the stove. So always be teachable. What have you been learning this week? Work has been not so bad. Monday went pretty good with the new software update. We had a few, this isn't working. Oh, okay, it works now. Ha, ha, ha. Moment of panic. And that wasn't me. That was my coworker. So trying to be teachable, trying to keep your mind open, challenge your limited belief system. And I always say it's a limited belief system because it's what we learned as children, how we were raised. But it doesn't mean it was wrong. It's just there's different ways to look at it. When I was younger, I always remember looking at people really quizzically, like, the perfect example is spaghetti. The first time I was a teenager, I went to my girlfriend's house and they were having spaghetti. They had a bowl of noodles, they had a bowl of sauce. And I just looked like, what am I supposed to do with that? I watched everybody else take some noodles, take some sauce. I never knew spaghetti was like that. At my house, Mom mixed the sauce with the noodles because if she didn't, the boys would eat all the sauce and there'd be nothing left but noodles because the boys were ravenous feral children. So it was a teachable moment. And I giggle at it because I could only imagine the look on my face. Like, what is that? Or the time where, since I grew up on a dairy farm, we got our milk out of the bulk tank fresh from the cows. And I go to a girlfriend's house and I shake the milk jug because you have to combine the cream with the milk for fresh milk. So I shook the milk jug, and the dad looked at me and said, "Oh my gosh, I still do that." And everybody else in the family looked at me like I was the crazy one because why are you shaking the milk jug? Because that's what we do. You have to combine the milk, but there's no cream on store-bought milk. But it's the teachable moments. It's learning about other cultures, other places, other peoples, other perspectives. Be teachable. I hope that you all have a fantastic Wednesday and the rest of the week. Again, if you ever need any help working through emotions, standing in the shower sometimes is so overwhelming when these emotions slam into you. If you need help working through that, preferably not in the shower when you talk to me, let me know. Drop me a comment, send me a message, get in touch with me. We'll see if we can work together and I can help you work through and process some of those emotions so you don't have to live in the grief or the sadness or the melancholy or the despair. You can pull out of that spiral pit of despair and live your best life. As always, have a fantastic day. I will check in on Friday and see how everyone's doing. Bye for now, everyone.